Welcome. If you have a family member with challenges, disabilities, or special needs, you're in the right place. I know that one of your greatest cares as a caregiver is, what if my dependent child outlives me? You don't want to spend a lifetime figuring out how to keep your child comfortable and happy, only for all that to be lost if you're gone. I'm Stacy Pearson, and I've spent years as a legislative assistant and an advocate lobbying at every level for those who can't fight for themselves, including speaking at the United Nations. These things are important to me because I've been helping my family raise and care for my brother, and someday his care could become my responsibility. Because of my family's experiences and my advocacy work, I discovered that too many families were falling through the cracks without the tools that addressed their unique situations. And that's why I worked with an industry leader, Integrated Trust Systems, and their team of professionals to create an easy, comprehensive, two-part tool that's legal in all 50 states that eliminates your assets from being frozen in probate court and that ensures the continuity of your child's care and potential benefits. I've also developed a very cool cloud-based tool for moms. So if your personal plan to just live forever doesn't pan out, your wisdom and your resources will always be there for your child. I understand your challenges because I've been through them with my own brother. Education nightmares, seizures, public fits, like the famous one when he threw himself down in the Hot Wheels aisle in Walmart screaming like Chewbacca because he couldn't have all the cars. You probably have stories like that too. The alarming fact is that my story and yours is familiar to far too many people these days. The number of families dealing with these issues is growing exponentially. Maybe your child is one of the 6 million who require special education services and has an IEP. Tragically, your child could be the one child in 68 diagnosed with autism, and many of them don't qualify as special needs or for SSI benefits, even though the interruption to a working parent and out-of-pocket expenses can really be extreme. By filling out the form on your screen, you can help your family with a solution that's easy to put in place. Don't make the mistake of thinking, like I did, that death is the only scenario that dictates the transition of someone else needing to care for your child. I used to think that I had decades before I would have to take care of my brother. But that day came unexpectedly. With my mom incapacitated after major surgery, my dad was suddenly rushed to the hospital for an extended stay. Within hours, I realized how unprepared I was to take over, even though I'd been part of my brother's life for decades. I knew his anti-seizure meds were critical, but I needed the combination to the medicine safe. I knew corn was an issue, but I didn't know if it was an allergy or a sensitivity. And which oils did Mom use to calm him down, and which ones were for his muscle spasms and his nerve pain? I needed to make the right decisions, but I didn't have enough information. I needed an instruction manual on my brother. So I spent years developing the very thing I needed. I call it the Universal Guardian Guide, and now it's available for you too. Imagine having a cloud-based tool that can be updated from the palm of your hand, that manages all the critical information only you know about your child, life and death details that can be readily available for you, your spouse, emergency room physicians, or a future guardian. Information like how to comfort them and get through every step of the day, what they can and can't eat, who their doctors and therapists are, how to access the people you depend on, and lots more, like being able to track your progress while you're problem solving a situation like modifying a diet or a therapy or a bedtime routine. One tearful mom told me that the child guide was so comprehensive that she felt it validated her efforts as being a good mom. If your child should ever live without you, shouldn't he or she at least be comforted by all the special things only you knew? Even simple things like a favorite toy or a bedtime routine. To get this amazing guide for your child, be sure to fill out the form now and secure your child's future. Now there's a second part of the tool that's going to spare your children and your family members untold grief. a uniquely featured revocable living trust called the Universal Guardian Trust. You've probably been told that you should have a will in place, right? But the only thing worse than dying without a will is dying with one, because it means you took the steps to put the right tool in place, but may not have realized what would actually happen. Simply stated, dying with a will, or without one, means that your assets like bank accounts, houses, or businesses will be frozen until probate court can process your estate. And that can take up to 3 years in many states, and a percentage of your child's inheritance will be reduced to pay for it. Worst of all, while your assets are tied up in probate court, they scrutinize the custody of your children too. These days, you can't just state that you want your sister to care for your kids, because the court will have to go through an approval process first. Only a revocable living trust allows you to avoid probate court and ensure that your assets are quickly transferred for the care of your children. So don't delay. Fill out the form and learn how you can protect your child and your assets today, because after all you've been through for your child's care, probate avoidance should be a top priority. Without a universal guardian trust, you're walking a plank straight into the mouth of probate court, where a judge, not you, will decide what's best for your children. Most children are born perfectly normal, and then years later, without notice, they can be diagnosed with autism, have an accident, acquire a disability. Likewise, parents themselves can suffer unplanned events like a disability, or God forbid, a fatality. One thing that's fairly predictable is that your children will outlive you, and without a trust in place, everything you've worked to provide for them will end up in the jaws of probate court. If you listen to late night radio, you've heard the horror stories of kids who lost their parents' properties or businesses because they couldn't afford the taxes or mortgages while waiting for probate to release their inheritance. The Universal Guardian Trust bridges those waters and protects universally regardless of your child's ability or disability. Only a properly designed trust bypasses probate court, and you, not the court, establish who will act on your behalf to manage your accounts and assets in the manner that you specify. You can also appoint your children's future guardian, and even though they'll still apply for legal guardianship, they'll be favorably positioned and will not have to deal with probate court. If your child is qualified for SSI payments, the Universal Guardian Trust ensures that assets like your retirement funds or life insurance proceeds won't disqualify your child. In this way, the Universal Guardian Trust is a next-generation special needs trust, but with a universal application that's not just for children with disabilities. It's for every minor or dependent in your life. Plus, it includes the cloud-based Guardian Guide that's going to transfer crucial care information to that person who loves you enough to step in when you can't be there. And that's why every family raising young children, whether or not they have challenges, disabilities, or special needs, should have a universal guardian trust and guide. If your children must ever live without you, you want to give them every benefit they deserve. A universal guardian trust is the solution you need in place today. My parents are saints for the care they've provided my brother his whole life. And today, I'm more equipped to continue giving him the benefit of what they learned about making him more comfortable and happy. I'll know how to make his bed so he can't fall out during a seizure, and I'll know how to avoid or stop a choking episode. I'll know which therapies they've already tried, and I'll know how to keep his financial benefits coming in. Together, we're caring for the most vulnerable souls. So I've made it simple. There's no paperwork to keep track of, no salesman to clean your house for, but you do have to fill out the form on the screen. By taking advantage of e-technology, in most cases, we can complete in 1 or 2 phone calls or Skype visits what less comprehensive tools can't do in a year. Even better, it's affordable and there's no hidden costs. My team of professionals would love to hear from you, answer your questions, and provide you with additional information because I know we can help you. So don't leave without filling out the fields on this screen. Thank you for the time that you've spent today protecting your family members for tomorrow. God bless, and we look forward to hearing from you.